Athena enters Greek myth with a strange kind of power. Not the power of storm like Zeus, not the power of frenzy like Dionysus, not the raw force of war like Ares. Her power is colder, clearer, and in some ways more unsettling. She is the goddess of wisdom, yes, but not wisdom in the soft modern sense. Athena is intelligence under pressure. She is judgment when chaos rises. She is skill, foresight, discipline, and the mind that does not break when others do. That is why the Greeks gave her such a wide domain. Athena is not only a goddess of thought, she is also the goddess of war, of craft, of weaving, of heroic counsel, and of the defense of cities. At first, this can seem like an odd mixture, but to the Greek imagination, these things belong together. To build, to plan, to endure, to govern, to fight without losing reason, all of these are forms of the same power. Athena is not violence. She is the intelligence that masters violence. She is not mere knowledge. She is knowledge made useful in the world. Even her birth tells you what kind of goddess she is. In Hesiod's tradition, Zeus swallows Metis, the goddess of cunning intelligence, and later Athena bursts from his head, fully armed. The image is unforgettable. She is born not as a child of softness or helplessness, but as finished thought, armored reason, mind already prepared for conflict. It is one of the most concentrated symbolic moments in all mythology. Athena does not grow into wisdom. She arrives as wisdom already sharpened. And yet the Greek idea of wisdom is more demanding than ours. Athena does not represent abstract philosophy alone. She represents practical intelligence, the kind that builds ships, plans battles, advises heroes, judges consequences, and preserves what is fragile by surrounding it with order. That is why she belongs not to the wilderness, but to the city. Athena is the guardian of walls, laws, craft, and civic life. Where Artemis protects what must remain untouched, Athena protects what human beings are trying to make last. This is also why she stands so sharply apart from Ares. Both are gods of war, but they embody opposite truths. Ares is battle as bloodlust, collision, and destructive impulse. Athena is battle as discipline, formation, and strategy. The Greeks did not imagine war as one thing. They knew it had at least two souls. One rages, the other calculates. And it is the calculating soul they trusted more. So when Athena first appears in myth, she does not merely decorate Olympus as a noble female counterpart to male power. She reveals something the Greeks considered essential. Civilization survives not by strength alone, but by guided strength. Not by passion alone, but by passion governed. Not by action alone, but by intelligence that can see further than the present moment. That is the beginning of Athena. Not simply the goddess who is wise, but the goddess who shows that wisdom is what keeps power from turning suicidal. That is why Athena becomes the natural ally of heroes. Again and again in Greek myth, when a mortal stands at the edge of disaster, it is Athena who brings clarity. In Homer, she does not simply bless courage, she shapes it. She helps heroes act at the right moment with the right measure for the right end. Nowhere is this clearer than in the Odyssey. Odysseus is not the strongest of the Greeks. He is the most cunning, the most adaptable, the most mentally durable, and that makes him Athena's hero. Their bond tells us something crucial. Athena does not love brute greatness. She favors disciplined intelligence, especially when it must survive in a damaged world. But Athena is not only the patron of heroes, she is also the patron of the city itself, and nowhere more than Athens. The famous contest with Poseidon explains why. Both gods seek the city. Poseidon offers a dramatic gift, a strike of power. Athena offers the olive tree. At first glance, the choice can seem almost anticlimactic, a tree against a god of the sea and earthquake. But that is exactly the point. The olive tree means continuity. Food, oil, craft, light, trade, cultivation, endurance. Poseidon offers force, Athena offers civilization. And the Athenians choose the gift that can sustain a people, not merely astonish them. This is one of the deepest things in her myth. Athena's greatness is rarely theatrical. She does not dazzle because she is irrationally overwhelming. She is revered because she makes lasting life possible. She is the intelligence that turns land into a city, labor into craft, courage into victory, and survival into culture. That same logic appears in the older epithets and functions attached to her. Athena Polias, Athena of the city. Athena Parthenos, the virgin goddess, not in the sentimental sense, but as a figure of autonomy, self-command, and incorruptibility. Athena Ergane, patron of craftsmen and skilled work. These titles matter because they show that Athena is not a narrow goddess with one symbolic trick. She stands at the intersection of thought, skill, restraint, and durable order. And that is why she can also be severe. Athena helps, but she also judges. She rewards intelligence, but she does not tolerate arrogance masquerading as intelligence. Later tradition would make this especially memorable in stories like Arachne, where technical brilliance becomes self-exalting pride. Whether in epic or later literature, the warning remains consistent. Skill is sacred only when it remembers its limits. So the middle truth of Athena is this: she is not merely wise because she knows many things. She is wise because she knows proportion. What must be defended? What must be built? What must be restrained? What must never be confused with greatness just because it is spectacular? That is why Athens belongs to her. A city, at its best, is not just a concentration of power. It is power educated into form. But the final epiphany of Athena comes in a place even more serious than battle or civic pride. It comes in judgment. In Aeschylus's Eumenides, the world of vengeance reaches a breaking point. Orestes has killed his mother, Clytemnestra, to avenge the murder of his father. The old logic of blood for blood is now in motion, and the Furies rise to claim him. This is not merely a private family crime, it is a crisis in the very meaning of justice. If every wound must answer with another wound, then violence can inherit the earth forever. And here Athena does something extraordinary. She does not solve the problem through pure force. She does not simply strike one side down and glorify the other. She establishes a court. She moves judgment from vendetta toward deliberation, from inherited fury toward civic order. The scene matters because Athena is not abolishing terror from human life. She is giving terror boundaries. She is saying that justice must become something more than revenge if a city is to survive. This may be the highest thing Greek myth says about her. Athena is not only the goddess who helps heroes win, she is the goddess who teaches human beings how not to destroy themselves in the name of what they call justice. She stands at the threshold where force becomes law, where anger becomes procedure, where memory of wrong is not denied but contained. That is why Athena was so revered. Not because she is merely intelligent, and not because she is a comforting symbol of wisdom. She is revered because she reveals that intelligence, at its highest, is moral architecture. It is the power to give shape to life so that strength does not become madness, talent does not become pride, and justice does not become endless blood. Athena remains unforgettable because she answers one of the hardest human questions. What kind of power deserves reverence? And Greek myth gives a demanding answer. Not the loudest power, not the wildest, not even the strongest. The power that can build, restrain, discern, and endure. The power that stays clear when others become intoxicated. That is Athena. Bright-eyed, armored, severe. Not wisdom as decoration. Wisdom as the structure that keeps human greatness from collapsing into its own chaos.